And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Loots, and I'm back with another video. Sorry it took me a while to get this limited video out. I have been super busy this weekend. Also started playing Cyberpunk last night and I kind of got a little wrapped up. So anyways, man, if you're new to the channel, subscribe if not, or if so, and drop a like on this video, comment. So limited this week is I don't know how to say it. I like it, actually. I just like limited in general. I think it legitimately is the best game mode in this year's 2K. And this week's really awesome. All you can use basically is Ruby and Emerald cards, and there's no limit on those, so that's kind of cool. I mean, realistically, it should have been Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald cards, but it's not a big deal. Now, one thing they did that I like is you can't use Evo cards. So this is my team that I'm using. Now, like, I haven't been shy in saying that the Ruby tier is my favorite tier this entire year, period. And, like, as you can see, it's just a list of my favorite guys, like Shumpert, Chapman, Trey Young, Kyle Korver, Thibault, LaFonso Ellis, Bargiani. Great squad, pretty great team. Now, my team's a little more expensive than a lot of other people's are. I mean, this team itself, in Ruby value, probably costs around 50, 60K. Mainly from like Jonathan Isaac and Thon Maker by themselves cost like 30K. But you can make a very similar team that you can win a lot of games with for a lot less. The Emerald guides are just kind of here anyway. I use this team in Unlimited as my lower overall team anyway. I used to use Goran Dragic, but I like Trey Young a little bit more just because he's got that gold range extender and gold floor general and dimer. But for Shumpert, if you guys aren't aware, we get another chance to get Shumpert, even if you're not going for Darren Williams, Baron Davis. I highly recommend doing the Win the Weekend challenge and getting Shumpert if you can, just because this Ruby Shumpert card is one of the best Ruby guards in the game, and it can only benefit you to have a guy this good at the Ruby tier for the future, especially for like Season 4. So I highly recommend everybody go and do that. Now I'm going to talk about some other guys that you can use for your limited squad, just to try to get that ring on the last day here. Eric Gordon is a really good option. You can get him for relatively cheap. Now, all the Ruby guys have gone up in price, but some of them have kind of stayed lower. Eric Gordon's going for about 3K, which is a good price for him. Rex Chapman's going for about 5K. I still think he's worth picking up for 5K. He's still one of the best offensive Rubies in this game. Nick Anderson's doing about the same. He's going for about 5. He's not everyone's cup of tea. He's going lower. He's going for like 4. But I do highly recommend having him as well. Gerald Green's really cheap. He's going for about 3. Last I checked. He's a really good card. I don't use him in my lineup just because I need a little bit more shooting. If you have Manute Bull, now's the time to sell. For sure. He's going for about 8K, which is absurd for a Ruby like Manute Bull, he's not really that good. He's just very tall. I'm going to sell him right now, as a matter of fact. I didn't realize he was going for that much. You're going to run into Scalabrini pretty often. I run into Scalabrini once every 2 games. Great guy to play power forward if you need to. Plus, he's only going for like 1900, so he's a cheap option as well. Let's talk about some other guys here. Dino Raja is a really good option as well. He's going for about 2K. He's not going to bring too much shooting to your team, but he brings impeccable defensive rebounding, and he can run the floor pretty well. Chris Paul. He's one of the most annoying Ruby point guards in this entire game. He plays defense. I don't know what they did to Chris Paul's CPU, but he plays some crazy defense on current gen when he's off ball. He can win you games just by being out there, legitimately. Like, I'm not even kidding. I haven't run into DeAndre Jordan yet. Wait, what am I doing? Why am I looking at these guys? Some of the season of giving guys are actually really good, too. They're just all expensive. LaFonso Ellis has taken a huge price increase. He was going for about $1,200 earlier this week. Now he's going for about 4K. I still think he's definitely worth that 4K. Same with Matisse Thybulle. He's going for a little lower, around 2 or 3K. Honestly, complete steal for what Matisse Thybulle is. He's one of the best 3-and-D defensive cards in this game, let alone at the Ruby tier. I've said it 1,000 times. I promise. You'll run into Giannis, LeBron, and Lauri Markkanen pretty frequently as well. I don't recommend using any of them, but if you're good at them, or if you're good with them, I should say, go for it, man. I've run into LaMelo Ball like twice. He's way too expensive. Just wait for next week. He'll be way cheaper. Dominique Wilkins is good if you run rim a lot. He doesn't really shoot too much. Gary Payton's decent defensively. These two guys are going to be guys you're going to run into pretty often. And honestly, they're not really worth the price. Like, Yeah, I don't know. They're budget beasts, but they're not worth 20k a piece. I have them. You're gonna run into this dude like legitimately every game. Dikembe Mutombo, every game. He's an unstoppable defensive card, like legitimately. He's fast. He has like a 74 speed, which doesn't sound like much, but he's 7'3", so he covers a lot of ground fast. He has a 90 block, huge wingspan. He's gonna terrorize the middle. So Lamar Odom is going to be one of your best options, like legitimately. Lamar Odom is so good, man. As far as like the Ruby small forwards go, I mean, he's definitely not the greatest, but he is a great power forward, especially offensively. He's not that much worse than the Diamond one. Like, I really promise you he's not. He is so good, dude. I know a lot of people don't like Lamar Odom this year. I really do, though. At attacking the basket, he's one of the best power forwards in the Ruby tier. I think LaFonso Ellis is just as good as well. No, it's arguable. Like, Lamar Odom's really good. He has a silky smooth jump shot. He's not the best outside shooter. So when I say he's so good, I mean, I am a huge fan of Lamar Odom, but other people I know are not. Trae Young's incredible, dude. He's a really, really good, underrated for sure. Not in the NBA. He's completely overrated in the NBA, but underrated in this game at the Ruby tier. This is truly one of the best Ruby pure shooting point guards in the game. You can get him for like 1,000 MT. He shoots the ball incredibly well. There's just not much that he does that is bad. Like, truly, he's just not. Andrew Wiggins is another person you'll run into pretty frequently. I like using Andrew Wiggins, but I just prefer some of the other guys a little bit more. But I mean, realistically, using the rubies that you're the most comfortable with are kind of your best option. I'll show some other guys you might run into pretty frequently, but so some of the season reward guys you're going to run into quite frequently. Yeah, you're not running into Brian Grant at all. I can tell you that. That's for sure. Kyle Lowry I've run into a few times, and he's a really annoying off-ball point guard as well. On the defensive end, like, he's going to just hassle whoever the other team is using at point. With that gold clamps, and he's got some other good badges as well. I've run into Jaren Jackson a couple times. Thankfully, I haven't run into Pukavechki, just because I'd be making fun of him. D. Brown's actually really good. I was using him for a little bit as well. If you have D. Brown, he's a really solid offensive-minded point guard. He's not really bringing you anything facilitating-wise, but at the same time, like, if you're looking for a pure scorer from the point, D. Brown's really good. He can run rim incredibly well. He shoots well. He dunks ferociously. But, I mean, realistically, just using guys you're comfortable with. Like, I use Shumpert, Rex Chapman, Nick Anderson. Like, I use all of these guys constantly in a variety of game modes. Like, let's talk about some other guys that you could use that I use occasionally as well. Point guard position, I mean, Patty Mills, Goran Dragic, those are really good options if you have those guys. Jay Williams is good. Gary Payton, if you need like defense and facilitating, he's just not bringing you anything else. Karis LeVert's really good too. I was running around and messing with him earlier today. He might make his way into the lineup just because that 6'6" frame with that long wingspan. Yeah, Ray Allen's good. He's got that gold range and he's cheap. He's just not bringing you anything defensively, but I use Kyle Korver, so what's the difference realistically? Carmelo Anthony, this card, I like Carmelo. I'm a fan of this card. It's fun to use, but I just think there's better options. But, I mean, if you don't want to spend an EMT, rock Carmelo. Gerald Green, obviously. Steven Jackson's still the man. There's just been so many better Ruby options that it's hard to justify using them. Bruce Bowen's really good, too. He's expensive as per usual when it comes to Ruby guys. Just because he's got that gold intimidator, gold clamps, catch and shoot corner specialist. Like, he can knock down threes at a high clip. He's just not bringing you anything else, but he's truly one of the best 3-and-D guys in this entire game at the Ruby tier. Joe Ingles is solid. Don't sleep on Joe Ingles. Paul Silas is really good as well. He is very similar to, like, LaFonso Ellis, just with a worse jump shot, but he plays defense about the same. He's way cheaper, too. Yeah, I mean, don't sleep on Mutombo. He's going to be super annoying. You're going to run into him all the time. He's going to clog the lane up. They're going to play off-ball defense with Mutombo. Just some truly toxic shit. It's going to happen. It's going to happen all the time. You've been playing Limited all weekend. You know. You know what's going on. But I really hope that it works out and everyone gets their ring on the road to Aaron Gordon. Plus the prizes this weekend and Limited are just so good. There's like guaranteed pack or deluxe packs. There's Hoff badges, there's Diamond consumables. Mo Peterson's still out there. So if you need him, you need to get that. I think John Morant might be in the mix too. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody post about it. I really hope so people can get them because I know a lot of people haven't gotten them. But it has been your boy Cheap Ludes, and I appreciate you guys for watching the video. Later tonight, I'm going to go stream and try to get Richard Jefferson. So I'm going to stream, play some Triple Threat Online on YouTube, probably around 7 p.m. Central. So come join your boy, say what's up, and we'll hang out. Other than that, check the description for all my stuff, and I'll be back with